Hello and welcome to my Python tutorial regarding how to send an email within your Python script. You might have a few different reasons for doing this. You could have maybe a web app with Python running in the background and you want to be able to send an email within it. Or I use it personally. I have a couple servers and just computers that are constantly doing various tasks, and if something trips up or something happens, it will notify me via email and tell me something is wrong. So if I'm not at home, I can get the email to my phone and then remote desktop and figure out what needs to be done. So anyway, obviously sending emails, I mean, there's a whole lot of reasons you might want to send an email. So anyway, this is going to be a tutorial on how to do that. You don't actually have to download anything. SMTP-lib is actually built into the vanilla installation of Python, so all you really need to do is import SMTP-lib. Now, we're going to be using the Gmail SMTP servers, so in order to do that, all you really need is a Gmail account that you will actually be logging into to do this. If you don't have one, it's real easy to make one, so just go ahead and make it. So anyway, all you really have to do now is, well, if you have an email, you need content to that email. So we'll just say content, and we'll just say example email stuff here. Next, what we need to do is specify the SMTP mail server that we want to use, and then the port that we want to use with it. So we're going to call this mail equals smtplib.capital SMTP. And then in here are the two parameters that I just mentioned. You've got the server and then the port. In the case of Google, it's smtp.gmail.com. Really tough stuff. And the port, you can either use port 465 or port 587 with Gmail. That might change in the future, so if something's going wrong, you might want to check up on that. Now the next thing that we want to do is you want to identify yourself to the server, and there's a couple of different ways you can do that. There's a hello, and there's also hello. Anyway, hello is just for a regular, and hello is for the ESMTP server, and ESMTP just stands for extended SMTP. So if you're using a server that has that, that's what you would use. So mail.ehlo, empty parameters. Next thing we want to do is start what's called TLS mode, and TLS stands for Transport Layer Security. So this means that any SMTP command that's coming after this is going to be encrypted. So the reason we want to do this is the next step is to actually log in to our email account. So we want to make sure that's encrypted. So the next thing we want to do is mail.startTLS, empty parameters. And now we want to do, we want to log in. So you would do mail.login. And here you would have, your email and your password. And now we actually want to send the email. Pretty easy command here, mail.sendMail. And then in here, you specify, there's actually three parameters to this. The first parameter is going to be the from email. So you should use the same email that you've logged into. Now, when people start learning about how like SMTP servers work, and you could do this within like DOS and stuff too, is people are like, oh, you can spoof emails, And I just want to say that, first of all, generally, like, the immediate idea is like, dude, let's send an email from the FBI, or let's send them an email from Obama. Bad idea, because that would be considered impersonating a federal employee. That is a federal crime. Also, just spoofing an email address overall can get you into some trouble as well. So try to refrain from playing those kinds of jokes on your friends. So from email, use the same email as you say here. Also, if you do spoof it, or like if you say it's something else than it was, then a lot of times that's going to go to the junk mail. So just keep that in mind as well. If you actually want the email to arrive, don't lie. The next field here is going to be the receiver. And then finally, the content of that email that you'll want to put in there. So once you've got all of that, that email has now been sent. And now the last thing you want to do is close the connection. So you would just do mail.close. And that is it to send an email within Python. So what I thought would be kind of cool is I'll pull up my email, I'll fill in these parameters, and actually send this example email just to show you guys that it works. Although you can try it yourself. Alright, so just to show you guys real quick the email actually being sent, we'll pop it up here, and looks like the email is probably sent, so we'll just wait a second. It should appear in our mailbox here. Maybe not, we'll refresh. There we go. Had to refresh, but anyway, so there's the email. You can see it's from me. There's no subject, but it came from here. Example email stuff here. You get the idea. So anyway, that's just a real basic how to send an email within Python. Obviously, you want to eventually learn probably how to put a subject in there. And there's also other things that you might want to be able to put in the email. What about like HTML, maybe images, all kinds of stuff. So if you are running maybe an automatic mailing system, possibly you might want to be able to do some more tricks. So I'll probably put another video out on some added stuff that you can do alongside this. But that's the basics of sending an email. I will just mention a couple of things. If you are having a problem with the email sending, make sure you didn't name the file email.py. For whatever reason, if anybody knows the reason, please, I'm curious, put it below why it doesn't work. But if you call it email.py, it compiles the Python script like as if it's being like it's really strange. I'm not sure why it's doing that. But if anybody knows exactly what is happening, do let me know. But yeah, if you call it email.py, it's not going to work. So if you are using this on your web server and you're like, why isn't this working? And you don't have like errors enabled or something, you might have no idea what's actually happening. But yeah, don't call it email.py. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for your support, your subscriptions, and until next time.